Seattle just told the biggest names in AI no. The city council voted 9-0 to block massive data centers for a full year right in the middle of a tech boom. It's not too often when every city council member agrees on anything. I've helped hundreds of families buy in the area, first-time buyers, move-up buyers, relocators, downsizers, you name it. So I'm shooting this video for you today because this decision changes what your utility bills and your neighborhood look like. All right, so let's get into why they did it and what it means for your next home. So imagine a few giant windowless boxes, each one pulling the kind of power a whole chunk of the city runs on. Yes, that is what Seattle turned down. On June 9th, 2026, Seattle Council made that vote on any data center pulling more than 20 megawatts. Not a single member said yes. 4 companies wanted to build 5 of these data centers right here, and together they'd have pulled enough electricity to run about 300,000 homes. That's a huge new load dropped straight into a packed city grid. But the people noticed, and locals hit the council with close to 100,000 emails, worried about their bills climbing and the grid giving out. So the council listened and put on the brakes for a year. Now the city's not saying never, they're just saying no right now until we study this the right way. Keep this in mind when we get to real estate later, because that land question is where this whole thing hits your wallet. So for now, this fits a bigger pattern of Seattle trying to grow without breaking its own power supply. What surprised me most wasn't the ban, it was who fought hardest for it. All right, here's your plot twist. The folks you'd expect to defend AI the hardest were the ones lining up to slow it down. Tech workers themselves, including Amazon engineers, stood up at council meetings and backed the pause. So why did they do that? For starters, one of these AI centers eats up huge amounts of power and water, and once it's built, it's barely anyone on site. It's a sealed box full of servers. The good-paying cloud jobs stay in the offices in South Lake Union and Bellevue, not out at the server farm. The bigger worry hits close to home. They're watching big AI money push demand up around the region while their own companies cut jobs. So you've got rising costs on one side and shakier job security on another. It's a tough spot for anyone thinking about buying a home. Now, I'm not saying tech buyers are sitting on the sidelines. I'm just saying they'd rather own something solid than wait out a market full of question marks. So the ban lines up with what a lot of them want: more stability. That stability is the same thread that runs right into your own neighborhood next. But before we get into that, if you're moving to Seattle or thinking about a move because of these tech shifts, I know these neighborhoods inside and out and give you a steady street-by-street analysis on where this market works in your favor. My contact info is in the description below. And I got a freebie for you today. If you're thinking about selling your home this year, use my free home valuation to get a fast read on what your place is worth today. And I can give you an even better read if you need it. So just let me know. hello@mwagnerteam.com. All right, now let's get back to it. So this is the part that lands on your street. Everything up to now has been about power and City Hall. Now it's about your home. First, blocking these server farms keeps neighborhoods from turning into loud industrial zones. You got spots near South Seattle and Soda that could have picked up constant noise and heavy water use. That is off the table while the city studies it. Second, this is the big one: a steady grid keeps you safe from random utility spikes. Seattle City Light has already floated higher rates just to fix up their system. So yeah, pile giant industrial loads on top of that, and regular folks were right to worry that they would be footing the bill. The city is even looking at a separate rate class so data centers pay for their own upgrades. So for you as a buyer, this decision means steadier monthly utility costs, and steadier costs make budgeting a home way easier. Third, there's the land itself. Seattle's leaning hard into building homes near transit. So if you lock up prime land by a light rail stop with a server box, you've got nobody living there, no coffee shops, nothing. So saving that land for housing instead is a win for future supply, and that's the kind of thing that shapes prices for years. So here's the real takeaway. This pause doesn't pull tech demand out of our market. It definitely changes where the hardware goes. The draw of Seattle stays strong, which is why most forecasts still point to slow, steady growth instead of any crash. That's great news whether you're buying, selling, or just watching from the fence. Seattle hit pause on letting a few company deals rewrite the rules of your grid and your street. So the buyers who get that shift right now are the ones who move with confidence while everybody else is stuck on the headlines. If you want a clear read on how all this touches your move or your sale this year, email me at hello@mwagnerteam.com today, and we'll map out your best next step. I'll give you a straight answer for your spot, not some generic market take. And don't forget to check out the free home evaluation tool. Now, if all this talk of layoffs and AI shakeups has you wondering why Seattle's headed the wrong way, I've linked a video that walks the ground floor and shows you what the front pages skip. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.